All right, the ayes have it, and the dues is, the bylaws are thus changed, and the dues is thus increased. This will be with your next dues, so, you know, you're not kicked out for not being, you know, if your dues isn't due until next October, that's when this will start. Well, now, the next thing I get to do is a little bit more fun. I get to give a State of the Foundation address. I'm pleased to report that the state of the Foundation is strong and healthy. Our membership has grown, our finances are sound, and in 2014, we will unleash those finances to elect Democrats. I want to talk something about the rise of the Democrats and, frankly, the decline of the Republicans. And please don't worry so much about the 24-hour, the 24-minute, or the 24-second news cycle. Trust me, the Democrats are on the rise and the Republicans are on the decline. The Republicans have inflicted wounds on themselves that are making them into a regional party, and may make them go the way of the Whig Party at some point. Caring and maturity in politics. It used to be said that if you were young and you were not a Democrat, you didn't have a heart. And if you were old and you were not a Republican, you didn't have a head. The sentiment was that while the Democratic Party was caring, it wasn't all that mature. And while the Republican Party was mature, it wasn't all that caring. Well, you know what? You don't hear this much anymore, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Today, the Democratic Party is the mature and responsible and caring party, while the Republican Party has regressed into immaturity, irresponsibility, and by shutting down the American government, has embraced the incessant steps of anarchy. When George W. Bush became president, any remaining Republican hold on the mantle of maturity and responsibility was just shattered. To say that the Bush administration and the Republican Congress spent money like drunks is to overstate the effect of alcohol and to understate the responsibility of drunks. Billions and billions of dollars were spent off budget. It was another way of saying it's spent, but we're not going to count it. We're just putting it out the back door. So in 2008, the people spoke up against the Republicans and elected Barack Obama, President of the United States, and then re-elected Barack Obama, President of the United States. And the Republicans have learned nothing from this election and re-election. They have just cowered into the corners of what they thought were safe congressional districts. And Pete, I'm saying that they thought they were safe congressional districts. And they shut down the government that President Obama heads. And they did that because they couldn't get their way by regular lawful means. So they had to throw a tantrum. They said, we can't have what we want, so none of you can have anything that you want. As for caring, they didn't care that the FAA inspectors weren't making sure that our planes were safe. They didn't care that they endangered the nearly $300 million of tourism that California national parks bring to our state. They didn't care that the EPA wasn't allowed to protect your air and your water, or that the CDC wasn't allowed to protect your health. They didn't care that they sucked billions and billions of dollars out of the economy, and that these so-called deficit hawks cost the government billions and billions more. They had to have their kingdom. And in doing all this, the Republic, and as they continue to do this, and I have every faith that they will continue to behave irresponsibly like this, in doing this, the Republicans will continue to shrink, to decline, and to falter. And you know what? The people who are registered Republicans, they will come over to be Democrats. It's already happening. I'm looking out here, I know people in this audience who are recovering Republicans, who want to be part of a party that cares, and is mature, and is responsible. You know, as to Orange County, demographics indeed have changed, but as the Republican Party has continued to leave mature Republicans behind, we see just incredible growth in Democratic popularity. You know that in 1996, which really wasn't that long ago, there was, oops, I dropped the paper, excuse me. That's where I was. In 1996, the Republican advantage in Orange County, registration advantage, was 20%. It's now 9%. It's now 9%. Our cities in Orange County are becoming Democratic. Larry, Irvine is 1,066 people away from being blue. La Habra is 61 Democrats away from becoming Democratic. La Palma, 156. Laguna Woods, 174. And Anaheim, where you're sitting, I'm standing right now. Anaheim, Santa Ana, Buena Park, Stanton, and Laguna Beach are all Democratic cities. And for the first time in history, three of our representatives in the House from Orange County are Democrats. And in 2014, we're going to re-elect people like Loretta Sanchez. We're going to re-elect the people in this room. We're going to elect more people and more people. As this county becomes, as this purple county, there's all sorts of colors in here, as this Orange County, which is purple, becomes bluer and bluer and bluer, our representatives will also become more Democrat, and more Democrat. So next year, 2014, is a year for Democrats here in Orange County. Thank you all for joining us. Please enjoy it. About 20-25 minutes, and then we'll start the award ceremony. I say as if to say, Luke, take a picture, it's heavy. Okay. And when we award these awards, we recognize both the awardee and the person after whom the award is made. So we have 3 awards. The Wiley Aitken Award for Excellence in Leadership honors Wiley Aitken. The Richard J. O'Neill Award for Excellence in Service honors Dick O'Neill. And if I may address the Adler table, the Howard Adler Award for Excellence in the Art and Science of Politics honors Howard Adler. The Wiley Aitken Award for Excellence in Leadership. This year we are awarding this to Assembly Speaker Pro Tem Emeritus Fiona Ma, who's also a candidate for the Board of Equalization. I'm going to talk a little bit about Fiona before asking her to come up, but I do want to point out that she is the first Asian woman to be the Speaker Pro Tem of the Assembly. And I want to mention, I was talking about the significance of the democratic growth, which is progressive growth. And progressive growth means fairness growth. Means you get to, it means you're judged on merits. You're judged on your merits. I don't know if any of you know this, but we are here just a few miles from what, in the early part of last century, was Santa Ana's Chinatown. It was Santa Ana's Chinatown until the city council voted to burn it down. Things weren't always the way that they are now. And thank goodness they are the way that they are now. With the leadership that we get from people like Fiona, society changes. We are able to do the things that we are able to do. My Vietnamese, Jewish, Lithuanian, Ukrainian, Buddhist, Polish family is able to thrive here in Orange County. And we're able to thrive because of the leadership of people coming before us and people going along with us and people who are going to lead us from now on. And I got to tell you, Fiona Ma is one of our leaders, and we're very, very happy to honor her. She's not the type of person who just puts up her finger to the political winds and decides, well, this is how she's going to think and this is how she's going to lead. She thinks and she leads. And she does it smartly. And people care, and they know that she cares. In the legislature, she fought for our environment every step of the way. Those toxins that were in the baby products, they aren't there anymore because of Fiona Ma. That's why they aren't there anymore. Fiona is a CPA, so she knows numbers backwards and forwards. But she also knows that behind those numbers are people. And she cares about those people. And we care about her. Please welcome Fiona Ma. It is heavy. Before we talk.
Thank you.
Great progress.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. I think we all this stuff though, so you have room for it.
Thank you. Thank you, Dan, so much for calling me a couple months ago and giving me the great news, because I really do love Orange County. And I love all the friends that I have met along the way, and seeing them here today, like my good friend and former colleague Todd Spitzer, who sat in the next row over, but within talking, yelling distance from me. Good to see Todd. Jose Solorio, without his mustache, I almost didn't recognize him. We got elected in the same class. And also the new 12-year members, as I call them, Sharon Quirk Silva, Tom Daly, and Anthony Rendon, who didn't have to go through the tough budget years, right? And all the fights that we had. So they actually have it very easy, and they are there for 12 years, so there you go. And of course, the famous William Westwood Lockyer, our Speaker, President Pro Tem, our Attorney General, now our Treasurer. Thank you, Bill, for all of your leadership, and of course, Congresswoman Loretta Sanchez. I said, whatever you need. She goes, you know how it is. I always need your help. And so it's always good to see Loretta. But I never dreamed I would be standing here today. I was raised to be a CPA. My parents, I'm the oldest child of immigrant parents, and my parents wanted me to be a lawyer, an engineer, accountant, or a doctor. So they decided early on that I should be an accountant, but I never thought I was meant to be an accountant. I always felt like I wanted to help people and be in public service, and I'm just very happy and honored that I have found my true calling in life. Recently, I read a commencement speech by William Deresiewicz to the graduating class at West Point in 2009. His topic was titled Solitude and Leadership.